Previously on We the People with Judge Lauren Lake.
I don't base who I bring into my center based on color.
You know, in retrospect, I really should have seen that as a red flag. In Dallas, my son was always in diverse classes and has never had any behavioral issues. As soon as he started at Miss Banks' school, he started getting timeouts. What she told me was that he doesn't listen and he asks why all the time. That is normal behavior for a 5-year-old.
Good day, everyone. I was born and raised in Detroit. Growing up there, I saw people like me running things. This is a courtroom, not a circus, so we're gonna calm down.
I'm sorry.
What I found there was a passion that I didn't know existed. This is the bottom line. I'm excited to free fall into the limitless possibilities with We the People. So many are fearful of the law. They think it's something that works against them. I think you need to begin to accept responsibility for your mistakes. We are the people. So, Ms. Banks, I need you to respond to this, because why is it that Ms. Raven's child was not in timeout, nor the child that was biting, but Terrence was? Can you explain that?
At the moment in the incident, I had my defendant, Marlene, take the child that was biting and her daughter separately to talk to them because Terrence was obviously upset. He was agitated and he was talking a lot.
Terrence was the only one agitated and upset.
Well, he would not stop talking and saying, why did this happen, and he's this, and he was very high-strung about the situation. I felt like I had to.
Because he got bit?
Yes, but the girls were able to go with my assistant and calm down and talk to them.
Well, I don't understand, Ms. Banks. I am not a child care provider, but I am a former teacher. So I can see clearly that girls are definitely often more verbal and more mature than boys.
Well, I feel Terrence has had repeated behavioral problems, and calming him down and being in a place where he has less stimulus, he's able to calm down, he has less stimulus.
So you felt like in that instance the timeout was the individualized attention you were going to give him?
But can I?
It's also
just a minute. I want to hear from her witness. Yeah. Please stand, ma'am. You've already been sworn in. State your name for the court.
Marlene Sanders.
Ms. Sanders, what are you here to testify to?
Well, I didn't see the incident itself. I was there and I heard, you know, the crying, and Terrence was a little bit louder, and so I pulled the girls aside. Terrence normally is talked to by Miss Banks, and I just have a bit of a softer hand.
So have you ever had interaction with Terrence?
Not as much, no.
Why is that?
I work more with the younger children.
Okay.
So the 5 to 6 range, I usually just kind of step in if something happens.
And so what did you witness that day? What did you see when you stepped in?
There was crying, some shouting, so I kind of just quickly pulled the girls aside to separate them.
And did you feel Terrence was overreacting in any way, given the fact that he had just been bitten by another student?
I feel like all of their reactions were warranted, but different. And so it's different to console a quietly crying child than it is a loudly crying child. The way you speak to them is different. How you approach each of the situations was...
Do you automatically put the louder child in timeout?
I don't know that that would be my go-to, but I do stand by what she did. It did calm him down, and it did allow them to resume their activities.
All right, thank you for your testimony. What would you like to add? I saw you had something to add, Ms. Matheson.
Yes, so a few things. One of the things that she's really done has penalized my son's reactions. So putting him in timeout has not been a situation where, hey, let's calm down, let's talk to you. It's been, you are doing something wrong by asking questions, so that he's become afraid to be curious. He does not enjoy going to the school, and he's scared of Miss Banks and the daytime center and the daycare center.
So at what point did you say to her, I'm not happy here and I'd like to have my money returned?
Thank you. So when we had, you know, it was the timeouts, I was working with him. I was trying to talk to her. I had reached out to other parents to understand, sort of what was going on, and the teachers at the school. But then before I was able to talk to them, this biting incident happened, right? And then again, and so I immediately, as soon as I heard what happened, especially that my son was the only one that was disciplined when there was a kid who was biting, and that he had asked, he had said, hey, this kid is biting, we need to do something about it. He hadn't been helped, and he finally hit the child, which my son is not a hitter. He does listen to authority, and he was still being disciplined. I immediately said, I am taking my child out. This is not a safe environment for him, and you need to give me my money back because I paid in advance. And she's saying that she's refusing to because it's not her policy. But I'm saying you did not deliver the service that you promised to deliver, which is individualized attention. He clearly needed more simulation. He has read all of those books. He needed higher level reading. And so in the daycare he's in now, he's getting that attention, and we are not having these problems.
Coming up.
Have you ever studied highly gifted children?
Not specifically studied.
I can tell. You would immediately know that a highly gifted child needs and asks why constantly.
And later.
But I did not key his car.
So hold on.
I'm not a stalker.
Did you know he was at the beach?
Well, I knew he was at the beach through social media.
See?
You're watching We the People with Judge Lauren Lake. We're back with a dispute between Soraya Matheson and daycare owner Justine Banks over a tuition refund.
Did you think Terrence was a good fit for your daycare, your preschool?
For the most part, yes. I think he just really wasn't used to having the structure and the schedule that we have, and that I know it was important for him to learn that going into kindergarten in the upcoming year. So,
are you aware of studies that have shown, as a matter of fact, there was just a Yale study done recently that said that children, especially black boys, children of color, especially black boys, are often penalized far more often than their counterparts. Have you read that study?
I am not aware of that study, but
do you keep up with the new studies?
Well, I think I will definitely look into that more, because I don't appreciate being accused of being biased. I've never been accused of that before. I've never felt that I am a biased person. To me, I thought we were
unconscious biases. Just to be clear,
Yeah.
Everybody, the gallery, Sean, you, everyone in here, even me.
It could be that, but I mean, the bottom line is that we're here about her suing me, and I will look into that. I will read the studies.
Well, what she's suing you for, she's saying you promised her a service, right? And you didn't provide the service. She wanted you to care for his child, not break his confidence, right? She wanted him to learn, right? Mm-hmm. And not feel like he's somehow less worthy. There's no mother that takes their child to a daycare or to a preschool and the child consistently gets in trouble without them trying to figure out, why is my child not responding in this operating system? The moment you no longer earn the respect of a child or the trust of a child, they check out. I have a 12-year-old boy. I understand this. But what she's here to prove is what I signed my son up for, he didn't get.
Well, in my defense, growing up, whether you were, Caucasian like me or someone, you ate what you were made for dinner. You did what you were told. And, I'm maybe of an older generation, but I really, in my defense, I believe that some children have to just follow the rules.
But
period.
have you ever, hold on, Ms. Matheson, have you ever educated highly gifted learners at your center?
I believe that some of them may qualify under the highly gifted
Have you ever
category.
studied highly gifted children?
Not specifically studied.
I can tell, because you would immediately know that a highly gifted child needs and asks why constantly. I am a parent of a highly gifted child, and it is no walk in the park. Before I give my ruling, I'd like to meet your son. I heard that he is here.
Yes, he
Sean,
is.
can you please escort Terrence into the courtroom?
Absolutely. Hey, buddy. Here you go.
Well, hello, Terrence. Welcome. How are you today?
Good.
You're good? So, I want to ask you this. Do you enjoy reading?
Do you like reading?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And look, he's asking his mother, I don't know if you could see his nonverbal. He didn't say it out loud, but it was, why is she asking me this? I'm so happy to meet you, Terrence. And I want you to know you are such a smart boy. I'm so proud of you for coming into the courtroom today and just taking time to support mommy as she comes in to advocate and make sure everything's good for you, okay? I think what is obvious here is, Ms. Banks, you have been running a daycare center for 15 years. You've run it your way. And to be very honest, they're very antiquated. As a person who has raised a child who is different, who is gifted, I am very sensitive to the fact that as a mother, this woman was trying to explain to you that my child is not a criminal. He's not trying to destroy the energy and the system of your daycare center, but he just needs different things. And you have to have the systems in place to take care of the children you usher into your center. And if you do not, if you don't have the knowledge, if you don't have the staff, if you don't have the operating system, and if you're not able to truly care for them and meet them where they are and their needs, then we probably should not have those children in our center. Do you understand?
Yes.
With that said, judgment for the plaintiff for $5,000. Court is adjourned.
Judge Lake has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant owes $5,000.
You gonna give me a hug?
Oh, you're such a smart boy. Thank you for talking to me.
Welcome.
You. Be good in school, okay? Okay, go back to mommy. Okay.
Coming up,
I'm suing because they did not pay for the keying.
So, Ms. Winters, did you key Mr. Bamford's car?
I will never do an act of violence towards him because I love him.
network featuring dynamic judges and live legal programming.
Well, we're not at your school, we're in my courtroom.
Unique court shows.
Where is any information about the company?
Live legal news.
That's what you should have done.
And a commitment to justice.
Either you tried or you did it.
The next generation of court programming in one dynamic network. Justice Central. You're watching Justice Central. Stay tuned. You're watching Justice Central. You're watching We the People with Judge Lauren Lake. Jeremiah Bamford claims his ex-girlfriend was stalking him, keyed his car, and rear-ended him. Darrow Winters says she had something important to tell her ex, but denies keying the car.
This is the case of Bamford versus Winters. Mr. Bamford, you are suing Ms. Winters for $1,234.77. You say in property damages, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Ms. Winters, you say you do not owe him a dime.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Bamford, tell the court what happened.
Your Honor, my car was keyed at the end of a party that I was attending. I was at a beach.
Were you in beach parking, or were you just like on the side of the road?
On the side of the road.
All right, and you went to the beach, you came back out, and you saw that your car was keyed.
Yes, I called the police immediately to report the damage that was done.
Did you think it was random vandals, or did you think it was a person? What did you think initially, your first
Initially, I
thought?
thought it was random.
All right.
And then on our way down to the police station, I got rear-ended by my ex right here, Dara. And I thought that the coincidence was way too unlikely, so it made sense in my head.
That was just a coincidence.
All right, so Ms. Winters, were you on the same road as Mr. Bamford after he left the beach?
Your Honor, yes, I was in the same road. I was actually being very close to him with my vehicle, and I did bump into him.
Why are you driving right behind him?
Because I needed to talk to him, and he refused to take any of my calls or to talk to me or respond to any emails. So the only way for me was to just follow him. But I did not key his car.
So hold on.
I'm not a stalker.
Did you know he was at the beach before that?
Well, I knew it was at the beach through social media.
All right, so social
Right.
media showed you, see?
But I'm not a stalker.
So you knew
I'm just
exactly where
curious.
he was at the beach because of his social media, so you went down there because he wouldn't take your calls.
Exactly.
Coming up,
I just want to talk. Like,
Well, we're here now, and you have my undivided attention as well as Mr. Bamford's. What you want to say?
you're watching We the People with Judge Lauren Lake. We're back with the case of Jeremiah Bamford, who has accused his ex-girlfriend, Darrell Winters, of keying his car.
Once you rear-ended him, did you all get out and check for the damage? What was the damage?
Yes, Your Honor. So the back of the car was ruined, and so was the bumper
Do you have a
light.
picture?
I have
Please
the report,
submit all
Your
your
Honor.
evidence to the court.
Yes. The whole folder. Thank you. There you are.
Thank you. I don't see a picture of the rear end damage. Did you have rear end damage?
The damage for the car from the rear end was paid for. I'm suing because they did not pay for the keying.
So, Ms. Winters, did you key Mr. Bamford's car?
I did not key his car. It was just an accident to be next to him and have to bump his car.
Mr. Bamford, you've also brought a witness. Is that correct?
Yes.
I'd like to hear from her. Ma'am, please stand. Step up to the podium. State your full name for the court.
Hi, Your Honor. My name is Kendra Towns.
Ms. Towns, what do you have to add? What do you have first-hand knowledge about concerning this situation?
Well, I was with Jeremiah the night that his car was keyed.
Of course you were.
Did you see Ms. Winters' car as you all got into the car after the beach party?
No.
However, Your Honor, I have, since moving back to LA, been seeing Dara in the most random of places.
Well, I just wanna
and
talk to
she
you.
knows that she's been blocked off my social media.
Your Honor, I was trying to talk to him. I just want to talk. Like,
Well, we're here now, and you are under oath and sworn to tell the truth, and you have my undivided attention as well as Mr. Bamford's. What you want to say?
Your Honor, I was pregnant when Mr. Jeremiah and I were still in touch, and I had a miscarriage.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I know.
Ms. Winters, I have to ask you, and since we're in court, you need to respond truthfully. Were you so angry at Mr. Bamford that you would go and follow him and key his car while he was at the beach?
Your Honor, was I angry? Yes, of course I was angry, but I will never do an act of violence towards him because I love him.
Judge Lake's verdict when We the People returns. You're watching We the People with Judge Lauren Lake.
It seems like it is very possible that you would key his car out of frustration and desperation. However, the problem is, Ms. Winters and Mr. Bamford, we have absolutely no evidence that puts you anywhere near his car at the time that he was at the beach party, but for you finding him 10 minutes later down the road in your car. And so I cannot, for that reason, award you any damages because you don't have any evidence that really puts Ms. Winters in position to have keyed your car. Judgment for the defendant. Court is adjourned.
Judge Lake has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's case is dismissed.
Do you have anything else to say?
Restraining order.
Just absolutely no more stalking. You can't follow anymore. Just get out of our lives.
There is
really.
no evidence
no,
that
Dara,
I did
you've done
anything
this
wrong.
for just way too long.